Welcome to the Tony Gaskin Show, best-selling author, celebrity life coach, and international speaker. The purpose of this show is to bring you motivation, inspiration, and education in the areas of life, love, and business. Thank you for joining me. Now let's get started. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Talks with Tony. Got a question from a young lady. Hello, Tony. I am currently in a long-distance marriage that I basically had no say-so in. My husband's job relocated from SC to Lancaster, PA. So I'm guessing that's South Carolina, to Pennsylvania. I went to visit him, but I have no interest in relocating to Pennsylvania. He has been there for 2 years, and we see each other 3 times a year at best. He was home for Christmas, and I asked him when he planned to move back home. This discussion turned into a nasty argument about things that happened at least 12 years ago. He accused me of cheating, which isn't true, got mad, and left early. Our intimate relationship is pretty much non-existent because I don't trust him and he isn't able to perform. Now he calls and talks about basically nothing and acts as if the events during Christmas never occurred. He always says he can't take a job in SC that doesn't pay him what he makes now, which is about $55,000. I, on the other hand, only talk to him when he calls or texts because I don't have much to say to him. We have 3 grown sons. My emotional/physical needs are not being met, and this is not a real marriage. We have divorced, remarried, and split up several times throughout the course of this 30-year relationship. I do not want to stay in this relationship, but for some reason, I'm afraid of making the wrong decision. Any insight you can provide would be greatly appreciated. I'm tired of being married on paper. Sorry for rambling. Married, but single in South Carolina. Thank you so much for writing in. I'm glad that I read your question. I was skimming through these questions, and it kind of gets to be a lot of questions coming in, and I'm going to try to answer more of these and try to keep them, between 7 and 15 minutes so we can get through as many as we can. So stay tuned wherever you are listening. Lock in, subscribe on YouTube, download the podcast on iTunes. Just go to your iTunes and type in Tony Gaskin Show. Download it. It's free. They'll come to your phone. If you don't have an iPhone, then, use YouTube or the Podbean app. Podbean is Podbean. You can download the app and type in Tony Gaskin Show and listen there. Thank you for your question. Now, you said something key that jumped out to me, and you said, I don't want to make the wrong decision. So I'm guessing the decision to divorce again, you're questioning if that is the wrong decision. But when you listed out everything that you have going on in the marriage, what would be wrong about it? Like, what would change? So if you divorced him, what would change? Your physical and emotional needs still wouldn't be being met. You still wouldn't have a man in the home with you. You still wouldn't want to talk to him. Everything pretty much would be the same. The only thing is you wouldn't have to talk to him because you would be divorced. You have 3 grown kids, so they are not a factor in this situation because you don't have to be with him to please them. They probably are scratching their head wondering why you're still with him. You're also sending a message to them that this is what love is and this is what a relationship is. And it's kids like your kids that I have to deal with, in the coaching space, and they come to me and say, oh, my parents have been together 30 years and they toughed it out and they've had ups and downs, but they're still together. And now, I'm with my wife or I'm with my husband and they don't want to tough it out. They don't want to, go through what you got to go through in marriage to make it work. And I'm listening and I'm like, your parents have been together 30 years or 40 years, but their relationship has been dead since year 2. And what you're calling love is not love. That is self-hate. That's self-hate. It is some fear, some immaturity, some insecurity, some ignorance to the knowledge of real love, that's what that is, all jumbled together, and you're calling it love. And so what you have to realize is that you're not married and that your husband believes you cheated on him. And if he believes you cheated on him, even though you say it's not true, then you are a cheater in his mind. And if he's bringing up something from 12 years ago, then he has not healed from that. He has not forgiven you for that. And that is why he is in PA instead of in SC, and he doesn't want to be with you. And you said that he's not able to perform. So that means y'all have been together, it's been over 30 years, so you may be in your 50s for 30 years. Because, I mean, even if you got together at 18 or even 15, you're 45. So if he isn't able to perform and he can't please you, then that also is another reason why he doesn't want to be with you. And he's making $55,000 and he doesn't want to give that up. But what is he doing with the money? His kids are grown and he's obviously really not taking care of you. So, and it's like $55,000 is like, that's not a lot of money. If he said 555,000, but 55,000, you come back to SC, start making 30,000 and just work your way up the ladder, or you probably can get 40,000, and you probably 55,000 in Pennsylvania because the cost of living is higher than it is in South Carolina. So it, in all, actuality, if you explain that to him, then he's really probably not making much more money. And so, and even if he is, your kids are grown, and what matters most, the money or your marriage? So he's not really married to you. You're with a single man. There's no possible way I can move to another state and leave my wife, at home and be gone for 2 years and then come home, get asked when am I gonna come back home, and then start an argument and leave early to go back to where I was. If I did that as a man, that means I love her as much as I love my old pair of shoes in the closet. And I don't want her to die. I will cry if she dies, but that would mean I don't love her. I'm not in love with her. That would mean I do not care if she divorced me. My ego would be hurt for her trying me like that, but deep down I would not care. It also means that I am either with another woman in Pennsylvania or addicted to pornography or strippers, or because see, he can't please you, but he makes enough money to get online and get a prostitute to come and please him. And even if that's just an erotic massage, or if he's on his computer screen or his phone screen and he's watching stuff there, men don't lose their sexual desire even if they cannot fulfill those desires. It's still there. I remember my grandfather, asking for a fellatio. He was 88 years old and he still had, the prostitutes coming to him for $5, and I hear that story over and over from several people about their grandfather. I remember my grandmother was probably about 80. She probably was about 70, 75, 78. And she was telling me a story about my granddad came in there on his walking cane, with a catheter in. The catheter is the bag that sticks in a man's, penis. So when he has to pee, it goes into that tube and into that bag. He had one of those in and came in the room. My grandmother, she had no legs in the bed. And he asked her to have sex at 80 years old. And she was telling me about it the next day. She probably wouldn't have told me that, but her mind was starting to deteriorate. So she just, called it like it is. And she said, Robert came in my room last night talking about give him some. And I said to Robert, you get up here, how you gonna get down? I ain't got no legs. How you gonna get down, Robert? And you barely can move. You barely can walk. You're too big to get up here. You get up here, you might break my bed. Man, if you don't get out my room, I married to you 30 years ago. And they weren't married or nothing. He just needed somewhere to live, so he came to stay with my grandma. But I used that in my first book that I wrote, What Daddy Never Told His Little Girl, talking about a man's sexual desire. So I say that to say your man is, whether he's 50 or 60, he's still very active and wanting some intimacy. So if you are not getting it and he's not trying to figure out a way to get you to him every month so that he can be intimate with you and have you stay there for 3-4 days a month, or come up 2 weekends out of the month out of that little 55,000, that he's trying to hold on to. If he was in love, if I'm making 55,000, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find me someone I know who works for the airline to get my wife a buddy pass. And if you working Monday through Friday, every Saturday, I'm flying you to me. Or I'm going to book them flights out so far ahead that I'm putting you on Spirit Airlines for $47, and you flying to me. I'm picking you up and bringing you back to the house, and we spending Saturday and Sunday. Sunday night, you get back on Spirit or Frontier, whichever one is cheapest, and I'm sending you back, to South Carolina. But if this was me and my wife, we getting together, and if not that, we're going to be on that computer screen. And I know the eye in the sky is watching everything, but they're going to have this show. But I will be trying to be intimate with my wife if I am in love. So what you describe, y'all are only a piece of paper. And y'all are exactly what a lot of people who are against marriage use in their argument about being against marriage. So you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. You're wasting his time. You're wasting his life. I would let him go. He's going to be, butt hurt, but not really hurt. He's not going to be heart hurt. He's going to be butt hurt because you knocked him on his butt. You hurt his ego. I would let him go. I would work on you and start to prepare for real love. And you obviously got the juice because you got 3 kids. You had this man chasing after you for 30 years, dealing with you. It finally has fizzled all the way out, but you got what it takes for a man to be attracted to you. So you will attract another man. And with all the knowledge that you have from this broken relationship, you'll be able to evaluate him and see if he's worth your time. So if it was me, which is your personal choice, I would let it go. I would get that divorce. I would move on. If it's not working after 30 years, it's just all the way broken. And y'all already been divorced. You should have never hit the rewind button to begin with. And I have an episode where I talk about that. Don't hit the rewind button. You knew then it wasn't going to work, but you went back anyways, remarried, and then y'all split up several more times. So all of that is evidence to say you are wasting your time. And to anybody else in this situation, wake up and smell the coffee. Folgers. I don't even know if Folgers still in business. My grandma used to drink Folgers. Wake up and smell you a cup of that Folgers and get your life together and move on. Love yourself and attract real love. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins here. Thank you so much. If you need more of where that comes from, make sure you visit TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. I have courses on there for you that will bless you. Get that course, TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. If you have a question and you just want some insight from your brother from another mother, email me at inbox@TonyGaskins.com. Somebody tried to put that in their browser and said nothing came up. And that's because it's not a website. That is an email address, inbox@TonyGaskins.com. So you got to open your email, go to your email, and I'm talking to you like I'm talking to my mama, because I know some people over a certain age struggle with emails. You got to go to your email. If you don't know what an email is, but somehow you got on YouTube on your phone, talk to your son or your daughter, open your email, and where it says to, put inbox. Type inbox, that's INBOX, at TonyGaskins.com, and put the subject and write me your letter. Now, for those of you who know exactly what an email is, please don't be offended by that, but we really have some people who don't know what an email is and don't know how to send one, so I have to help them, and don't come down hard on me or on them. But thank you so much. God bless you. We'll talk soon.